imagine you are running an online retail store and a customer comes in, they visit your site, they browse around for a while, look at a few products, and then comes to the point where they have to check out and pay for the item. They hesitate. Traditionally, a few years back, maybe even 5 or 10, you'd wait and hope that customer comes back, or maybe send a generic follow-up email a few hours later and hope that makes some kind of impact. Now, imagine you have a system that understands this customer's hesitation in real time because it detects subtle behavioral signals. So, like, it takes something like the customer dwells longer on the payment page, or the customer has multiple visits to the same product, and then instantly adjusts the customer experience. This could mean offering a small discount, free shipping, or a personalized message that nudges the customer to do something at the exact moment when the customer needs it. This system is not just reacting to customer behavior, but anticipating what the customer needs. And it's predicting this before the customer even realizes this themselves. And this is exactly what ecosystem.Ai's interaction science module enables. It's a system that learns continuously and detects behavioral shifts in your customers as they happen and allows businesses to engage customers at the perfect moment. Hi everyone, my name is Cara. Today we're going to look at how businesses can move beyond static customer engagement strategies and instead create dynamic real-time interactions that really strike a chord with audiences. We are living in a world where customers expect more from brands and businesses than they have before. They want brands and businesses to recognize them, understand their preferences, and anticipate their needs. You can no longer meet these needs by relying on traditional marketing campaigns, like the example that I mentioned earlier, just pushing out a generalized kind of message and hope that somewhere something sticks. Today's type of customer engagement needs to be instant, intelligent, and highly personalized for people to even take a second look. If businesses and brands fail to meet these expectations, customers won't wait. They will switch to a competitor they feel like anticipates their needs and understands them. And this is why the ability to engage customers in real time with personalized interactions, which are tailored to their specific behaviors, wants, hopes, desires, needs, has become a competitive advantage. And once again, this is what our interaction science module is all about. The interaction science module is a real-time intelligence system that changes how businesses interact with their customers. Instead of relying on batch processed data or periodic campaign analyses, this module enables you to interact with customers in the very moment that they are visiting one of the multiple touch points across the platforms you offer, interacting with those customers at the exact moment that it matters most. And this means that engagement strategies are dynamic, adaptable, and personalized to each individual customer. This happens at scale across a base of thousands or even millions of customers.
Laura, sorry, if I can ask, kind of see where this is heading and what you've said now. You've spoken about how these traditional customer engagement strategies are no longer enough, but can you explain what exactly differentiates the interaction science module from these other approaches and strategies?
Yeah, definitely. The interaction science module is different because it enables continuous learning and adaptation in real time to create those meaningful engagements across touch points. And this actually segues into the next section that looks at the module's key functions. By looking at these key functions, we could also get a better understanding of what differentiates interaction science from methods of engagement. This module has the ability to predict customer needs before they arise. Instead of reacting, waiting for a customer to search for a project or to inquire about a service, phone the company, reach out about a problem, The system anticipates what they need, and then based on that prediction, makes the right recommendation at the right time. One of the other key points is that it doesn't just suggest actions, it provides personalized, context-aware recommendations. In practice, that would mean something like two customers visiting the exact same website might see entirely different offers, different messaging, different promotions, and that's all based on their own unique behavior and past interactions that our system then analyzes. That's another one of the key functionalities of this module. It is designed to nudge customers towards desired outcomes. Different businesses have different goals. It could be increasing conversions, boosting engagement across the website, across your app, or preventing customer churn, preventing customers from the interaction science module can be tailored in such a way that it actually continuously contributes to any business's larger strategic objectives and kind of nudges customers. One of the most powerful aspects of this module is the ability to automate engagement at scale without being generic, losing that personal touch. This is probably one of the biggest challenges for businesses when it comes to how do you engage thousands, millions of customers in a way that still feels personal and doesn't just feel like they're getting this generic message from someone who doesn't know them, doesn't care about them, even though they are giving you business. That's what customers want to feel. The answer to this question lies in the ability of this AI system to process vast amounts of data in real time, continuously learning from it and adapting to customer behavior so that every single interaction remains relevant. What makes this module different from other customer engagement solutions is its ability to also continuously learn from customer interactions. There is a place for batch processing when looking at businesses or brands in a specific context. They might need that based on their business model. Interaction science works in real time, which means it adapts instantly based on live data that enables you to engage customers with the most relevant information. What I just mentioned was the thing of static models versus dynamic models. I would like to go into that a little bit because this is quite important when we're looking at this module. Static AI models are built to understand and classify data based on patterns they've learned from a fixed data set. Once trained, they don't change unless they are retrained. An example of this is how music recognition works when we look at an app like Shazam. So when you play a song into the app, it converts the sound wave into a digital fingerprint and matches that digital fingerprint against a stored database. So it's still fast and accurate and works for this business's purpose, but it doesn't adapt to new information. And then on the other hand, if we look here on the right-hand side, dynamic models like the interaction science module continuously updates and it continuously evolves based on real-time input. And dynamic models are built the function of engagement and personalization. If we look at Spotify as an app, as a platform, as an algorithm, the Spotify recommendation system doesn't just rely on a pre-trained model. It has historical data from different users, but actively adjusts its recommendations based on the listening habits of its users, your feedback, and even wider trends in the music space in the region you live in. So the interaction science module is an example of a dynamic AI model designed for real-time decision-making and adaptive learning. This module continuously learns from real-time behavioral signals that enables you as a business to engage users in the exact moment.
That was a really interesting point about Spotify and how they use dynamic models and kind of seeing how our module employs these models. So what I wanted to ask now is, you've spoken about Spotify as an example. Can you walk us through the process of how businesses can actually use this module in real time?
Oh, definitely. Everything up until now that I've said is a bit theoretical. So we can discuss how I think it would give a better, like, practical understanding how this module works if we look at the key components of this module in the context of a prediction platform or the ecosystem AI prediction platform. And then we can take it back and see these are the practicalities of it. So the process of implementing this module, using this module, starts actually with planning. So businesses first needs to define their engagement strategy. So whether it's something like inbound, outbound, or event-driven campaigns. The interaction science module allows for a lot of flexibility, which means you can tailor your approach based on your specific business goals and customer engagement objectives. Once this strategy is in place, businesses can access the module's built-in tools. Now, these tools are designed for, quick employment. So that means you don't have to spend months and months and months configuring complex systems before you see any results. And the integration into any in-house systems you already have is very seamless. And you can start leveraging the tools this module provides and the insights this module provides immediately. And then, so after accessing the tools, the next thing that should happen is measurement, or that can happen is measurement. One of the biggest advantages of real-time AI and this module specifically is that you can gain actionable insights as events unfold. Instead of waiting for reports or post-campaign analyses, decision makers in the business context can see engagement trends on dashboards as they happen in real time, see customer reactions and performance metrics. And that allows you to actually instantly adjust strategies for maximum impact in your business and to nudge customers towards those business goals. So once the behavioral data is collected, the system moves into a tailoring phase. And this is where behavioral algorithms come into play. So this AI module analyzes customer behavior and predicts what they are likely to do next, which is something I've emphasized earlier, that it's not just reactive, but it's predictive. And then based on these predictive insights, the system crafts personalized actions for each customer. And then the next step is connecting. By continuously analyzing customer data and behavioral patterns, the module enhances its targeting precision. You are not just reaching more customers, but you are reaching the right customers with the right message at the right time. Finally, businesses can easily configure and deploy these engagement strategies using the interaction science module's low-code tools and API integrations. This is a system designed for ease of use, so it allows you to get it up and running very easily. It's very seamless, very frictionless. Like I mentioned earlier, it is compatible with most in-house systems, or it can be adjusted to function that way. So it's very user-friendly, if that's something you're worried about.
Taking everything that you've spoken about now on the prediction platform and seeing the different components and how it works with the module, let's say a business now has got the platform and it's in their system, they've implemented it. How do they actually use it? What can the business do with it?
I'll give you some role play, real life, what would this look like? So something that is kind of the crux of what I want to get across from this is that the system doesn't just respond to customer needs, it anticipates them. So that's what you need to keep in the back of your mind when you think of this module, when you think of the examples I'm going to mention now. So let's look at something like in the context of a bank. If I'm a customer at a bank and I suddenly drastically change my spending habits, like I am not I'm not spending with this bank, not engaging on any of their platforms. And this is highly unusual for me because this is where my salary gets paid and I transact all the time. Suddenly I don't anymore. The system would probably pick that up and then recommend something to make me stay. They want to retain me. So offer me a new credit card, and that would make me want to stay with the bank and not start looking elsewhere. Another practical example is if we look at a telecommunications company, something like MTN, Vodacom, and I'm a user, or they're my provider, MTN is my provider, and suddenly I use a lot of data, a lot more than I have before. So that means that my data package gets depleted faster. The system picks up on this change in my behavior and then dynamically offers me a better plan with more data exactly when I need it. And by exactly when I need it, as I'm using the last megabyte or last 5 megabytes of my data, a message pops through that says, would you like to switch over, have 10 gigs of data every month? And that's also important, the timing of it can anticipate, but then the delivering of that personalized engagement. So when we look at some business use cases for the interaction science module, it has several practical applications across various industries. Just kind of to look at the more nitty-gritty stuff this can be used for. So for lead generational and brand awareness, businesses can leverage these hyper-personalized contact strategies and the AI-driven outreach to maximize engagement, which is something that's kind of already come through in everything that we've just covered. And then for something like customer engagement and onboarding, the interaction science module is really valuable for streamlining onboarding processes and ensuring that sign-ups are without a hassle, it's frictionless. By analyzing these real-time signals, businesses can guide customers through their digital journeys a lot easier. Like, for example, if we go back to the telecommunications provider, say you are a telco and you want to ensure that every new customer fully utilizes their mobile plans. The module tracks user activity in real time. Then if a user has not activated their voicemail or set up mobile payments from their phone, the system can send a personalized notification and explain to the user how to complete the whole setup. That's how it makes the onboarding process easier. And then for something like personalized offers, sale propensity, businesses can use this module or within the ecosystem.Ai platform to optimize dynamic pricing and recommendations, and do all this while experimenting with different engagement strategies to make sure that you maximize your conversions. Something we've kind of already touched on is customer retention and preventing churn. The interaction science module can detect the early warning signs of disengagement and implement proactive intervention strategies to retain high value customers. So if I've been banking with a bank for the last 10 years, and then I suddenly stop withdrawing money, stop using my credit card, like I said earlier, the system would alert the bank to send me an offer, something like cashback reward or a free balance transfer, would encourage my continued engagement and prevent the bank from losing me as a customer. Instead of simply reacting to customer needs after the fact, businesses can anticipate and shape customer experience as they happen. This module can understand the human that forms part of the system between businesses, customers, the system between interfaces and users. And the interaction science module is built to understand the behavior of the human. The interaction science module makes understanding the human in the system possible by engaging customers in real time and at scale, which is what we've talked about with the thousands or millions of users that still feel like it's personal engagement. It moves businesses from relying on historical data to making real-time data-driven decisions in the moment, and that ensures that every customer interaction is as relevant and effective as possible. So yeah, that is kind of the overview from my side. If anyone has any questions, feel free to ask and our team will answer it for you.
I just test my understanding. Beginning, you were saying that we would know what the customers are going to do. We understand, we anticipate. So is it correct that we would have two approaches, one where we know the customer so we can do a prediction on their behavior, and then once we got sort of an idea, once that person's now engaged, because their history, we might know something about them for the last couple of months. Like you said in one of your examples, their history might be they're buying the same data bundle, or they're swiping their credit card at the same place day in and day out. So our model will pick that up, we'll know something about them. They scan somewhere else. Are you saying that the dynamic model will then go, oh, okay, hold on, that is slightly different from what our static model is picking up? So then we're going to let the dynamic model test why they are doing what they're doing. For instance, maybe I've been swiping at the coffee shop with one of the partner banks, and now I go to a different coffee shop, which is not allied to the bank that I'm doing. Would then send a message to that person to encourage them, hey, we see that you're spending it at a different place. You get more rewards if you come back, if you come and spend it at our partner. Is that the kind of thing that the dynamic recommended in the interaction science module allows companies to do?
Yeah, that's kind of exactly it. So like you said, it is what I said earlier about batch processing and historical data. That historical customer data is still useful, especially in a context like this where behavior suddenly changes and the system picks up on that, like, oh, this spending pattern or this even slight behavioral shift, like a different coffee shop, for example, is out of routine. It's out of the ordinary. This person doesn't usually do this. Some would then, on kind of a experimental basis, send out messaging offers, nudges to the customer to kind of get it back to, if it's a coffee shop that you said the bank is affiliated with, has points with, and maybe it's for an entirely different reason. And then if that messaging doesn't work, the system will pick that up to, this customer is not responding, it's not clicking on offers, it's not opening, they're not moving back, try something else.
If the system picks up that I'm at a different, say, for instance, coffee shop, I'm at a different one that's not part of my usual banking, and the partner bank, partner with that bank that I don't get as many rewards, how does it know what kind of message to send to me? I might be a grumpy old man, and if it bugs me on my phone, I'm going to look at my phone. But if I'm a youngster, I'm on my phone all the time. How does the system know what kind of message to send to me?
So I can speak about the interaction science module and then some of the other modules that ecosystem.AI also has. But this is a module that's based on behavioral analytics and analyzing human behavior. It also analyzes that behavior and categorizes customers into certain archetypes. Categories in my head is something like, everyone with brown hair, everyone with green eyes, and I could have brown hair and green eyes, and my 80-year-old grandma could have brown hair and green eyes, but that doesn't necessarily mean that we behave in the same way. And that's where the behavioral science part of it comes in. So yeah, going back to your question, kind of not demographically segmenting users, but using behavioral analytics to group users and understand what type of people they are, then impact the type of messaging that certain users receive. For example, if I get offered lots of discounts, I like to click on the discounts and then immediately buy something. So that means I like a discount, I like to save. The system will pick up on that. But someone else might also be presented with discounts and not click on it, which signals something else to the system and puts that person in a different category. That also comes in with experimentation. As you get sent messages, offers, nudges, any type of interaction, the system will pick up how you as a user react to it. It's not just blindly sending out stuff. It would start maybe with something a bit more generic. As time goes on and the system learns who you are, you will be placed in the section that your behavior aligns with the most. Yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah, agreed. Madison, Brian, anybody else got any other questions? You don't have any questions, Brian. Agree that an interaction science module will be beneficial for customers across telco, banking, insurance, online retail?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Any kind of industry that is reliant on customers interacting with the business and the interfaces, this is very, very important. Like, I need to open my Vodacom app or dial the *11# number to buy new data when my data's finished. I need to log into my banking app to budget my salary for the month. That's all users interacting with the business, with the interface of the business. And, you know, having users interact, you can't just not give them anything back. You need to give them something back to keep them in, and to show them that you as a business value them.
Exactly. Can I be ageist on this in this context? I'm going to be 50 soon. I still remember when you had a little book and you would go to the bank and give them your book and they would say, okay, how much money do you want? And they'd write it in the book. I was quite young when that happened. As a person that grew up like that, I'm a lot more used to the digital interactions now. If I look at myself and my parents, my dad doesn't want anything to do with technology. As a younger crowd, what motivates you to use a company? Let's say you've got a couple of choices between banks. What motivates you to use banks and other service providers over another one? Why I started telling you that story was that you would use the bank closest to you because it was very manual. You had to physically get there, do the transaction. So you would choose the bank that was closest to you. Now there's no such impediment. And I'm asking, as it relates to interaction sciences, what do younger people want, and how can banks give the younger people what they want in this context?
Yeah, that's a very good question. I think that definitely speaks to Liam and Nicola here. I'm just going to generalize a bit and speak from my experience. The things that I look for, our generation, Gen Z, millennials so much like ease of use, accessibility, and comfort. So we want something to be easy to use, even though we are like more adept at tech stuff than maybe older generations. We don't want things to be difficult, especially something that you have to use often, like an app for your service provider or a bank or an online store that there's something you need to buy. You want it to be easy. So that very much comes down to the interface, how it looks, and then how it functions. I don't think our generation is as susceptible to, you know, perks and benefits. Like, I'm not gonna take out my Clicks card when I put in more petrol. That's more something my parents or my mom would do. But if you give younger people an incentive, like, for every 100 Rand you spend, you get 10 points and can redeem it at store X, Y, and Z. And store X, Y, and Z is something like, you know, a Kauai smoothie or a Take-A-Lot voucher. It's like those collaborations as well. The types of collaborations matters to younger people. It needs to be stuff we use and resonate with, not just cashback rewards. I don't think we ascribe as much value to that. Yeah, Maddie.
Sorry, yeah. Carry on.
I also wanted to say that I agree with you, Cara, and just to add on that about the ease of use and making things easy. I think because we have so many options presented to us, there's so much out there. Everyone's advertising, everyone's marketing. And, you know, for example, if you're at a bank, there's so many banks, they're all marketing towards you, and they have so many products that it's hard to weigh them all and know what's best for you. I just want to be told based on my behavior. I want the bank to say, we know you, this is what's best for you. I'm not going to do all the research and compare investment plans, credit plans. I know my parents do that. So I'm more likely to ask them, what credit plan do I need? But they don't know my transactional data. They don't know what I spend. So the bank knows that. And if they can then gauge based on my interactions, this is what's best for you. That's a driving factor in getting me to go with a bank or a telco. You're talking about Spotify and Apple Music. I'm with Apple Music, and I know they don't have the best recommendations. They don't use dynamic models, whereas and that's already basing my decision off of where I want to kind of subscribe, what music subscription I want. So that's just kind of what I was saying about, again, personalization and how interaction science is a great way to make personalized offers to people.
Fantastic. Cool. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. Well done. Thank you very much, Cara. We have got a new campaign launching very soon, new banking campaign, and we will be seeing you online in the near future. Watch this space. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you so much. Take care.
Thank you so much. Thank you.